Hello Steelers and welcome to another hobby report. I haven't painted a huge amount this week. I've been quite busy with other things here and there, but I managed to knock out 3 battalions of the 95th Rifles. These are informed battalions because that's how they fought during the 100 Days campaign. It's generally how they fought anyway. I mean, we see them as skirmishers, but they did also fight as formed battalions. Warlord provide these as part of their British units as well, which is quite nice. So I put these together. What I've managed to do is I've managed to make one full battalion of 4 bases, but also 2 extra battalions of 3 bases each. I've divided these ones into 3 because I've already got some of the other ones painted up elsewhere in my collection. So there's 3 battalions in total really of the 95th, and I think doing 2 smaller units also just helps out them, being those light infantry units. So I can designate them as light infantry units for things like GDA2, for example, or even in black powder. So it just, it's a quick way of remembering them on the battlefield. But yeah, I completed those. They were done. I'm currently working on the more Scottish at the moment. I thought I'll turn back to those and do some more of those. I actually also picked up 3 sprues of figures from the club as well last night. I'm recording this on Thursday night. Somebody had brought some down, so I don't know who it was actually. Nobody answered when I asked who'd brought them down, so thank you to those people who, I think it's Prussians and 2 French sprues, so I snaffled those. And I'm sorry Tim, if you're watching from Napoleonic Wargaming, I did get in there just before you, so I'm going to add those to the units at some point in future. So yeah, that's really all I painted this week really. Like I said, just kind of working on a bit more of the epic stuff here and there, just trying to chip away at them. I am going to do a video on what I've done so far, because I think I'm about over halfway now of both the British and the French boxes. Obviously I haven't touched the Prussians yet, but I will do at some point in future. In the post I got, this actually came last Saturday, so I missed it for last week's hobby updates, but I got Eisenhower. This is from Sam Mustafa, his new game, a tabletop game of great battles of the Second World War. This has been out only for a couple of weeks or so. It comes printed from Amazon themselves, which I'm not particularly keen on, because we try to be an anti-Amazon household here, but occasionally you have to use them. So I had to buy it through Amazon, unfortunately. I'm going to do a full proper review on this. So at the moment I'm not going to say too much about it. I'm going to, as soon as I finish recording this hobby update, in fact I will do a review. That will come out later this week, probably on Friday. I would have thought that's going to be Friday's video, so keep an eye out for that. Obviously Patreons and channel members, you will get that earlier, but that's my plan. Hopefully that will come to fruition at some point. I also was over in Sheffield on Friday, went out for a walkabout. No, it's on Saturday actually, last Saturday, and I had asked, recently I'd asked Nick from Two Fat Lardies for any book recommendations really on a basic introduction to the Arnhem and the campaign, the Market Garden, Operation Market Garden campaign. Just like an intro. I know he looks a lot at small units and that kind of thing for pint-sized campaigns, and he's been doing a lot more, real microscopic kind of detail work. But I just wanted something, and he suggested the William F. Buckingham Arnhem book, which I believe was only released relatively recently. It says here, first published 2019. I'm not sure if it's actually an older book. Somebody had mentioned it was an older book, but this is published in 2019 anyway. And obviously the 80th anniversary of Arnhem has just gone. I've just been thinking about it a little bit, and I kind of thought I don't really know a huge amount about it apart from what I've seen in, A Bridge Too Far and other kind of things like that. So I thought, let's just have a read of it. I've had a quick flick through. I mean, it's a massive book, it's about 500 pages. I've had a quick flick through, and it does look like it's going to be a very nice read, that. So I'm lining that up to read after the books that I'm currently reading at the moment. So I'm looking forward to diving into that, and I think that should be good. So if you're watching, Nick, thank you very much for the recommendation, and I will get to that as well. Also, whilst I was in Sheffield as well, I called into Element Games. They have a new game shop down in Sheffield, which has only been open, I think, since the start of the year. I've not been into it before, and I was talking to Dean about it the other week at the club, and I remember that, yes, they'd opened. So I popped in, had a look around, and I picked up a couple of French line artillery limbers and also some British Royal Artillery limbers as well. I just thought, put a bit of money behind their counter because, you know, they are a local shop and it's always nice to see these. So I picked those up as well, just as a little passing present to myself as much as anything else. So go and check out Element Games. They're down Chapel Walk in Sheffield if you're down that way. The other thing that came through the post as well was Warbase has sent me some of their new pillboxes. These are 28mm. These are, by the time this video is out, these will now be fully available on their website. I did do a review of these earlier in the week, so go and check that out. There's not much point in me talking about it here when there's a 10-minute review video you can watch of those anyway. They'll also be available at Partisan, which will be happening whilst this video is out, so I'm fairly sure they'll be making quite a few sales of them. But they're lovely, pre-painted MDF pillboxes of various types. Really nice. Go and check those out. And then, finally, this week at the club with Dex and Kevin, we played a Chain of Command version 2 playtest. Instead of going back to the Jitter campaign, which is what Dex and I have been playing for the last couple of times we played Chain of Command, we went to the Eastern Front instead of the Far Eastern Front, just to do a relatively basic Germans versus Soviets, but using some of the new lists and also a lot of the new rules as well in Chain of Command version 2, and it was a very specific playtest of that. Absolutely brilliant, really good. My Germans, it was a field division of Luftwaffe. They were holding out against the ensuing hordes of the Soviets, as they were the Red Menace as they were coming in. 1945, basically on the edge of Berlin. It was. I was playing defender. He was playing the attacker. I think he had an Su-76. He also had an extra section, and he also had a carrier as well with a scout team in it. I, on the other hand, in my defence, had an extra senior leader and also a mortar battery as well, because we wanted to try out the mortar rules as well. They worked really well. They're very different to how they used to be. They are not the game ender that they used to be, but you have to really think about when you're going to use them, and that's because they only get a certain amount of firing time with them. I think it's 3 phases, so you can replenish that if you want, but because of that you kind of have to really think about where you're going to fire. We also played as well the new scenario rules. The new scenario rules, in one part of them, has a countdown timer. It's called the final countdown, because you know, Richard and all that. But what happens is basically, if one side or the other takes the objective and they then play a Chain of Command dice, they are able to set a timer for the amount of phases that are left in the game. I captured the objective. His force, and it's based on his force morale. His force morale was 7 by that point, so we had 7 phases for the Dexter and Kevin to recapture the objective which I'd just taken. Now, what happens there is, if 3 6s are rolled by either side within that parameter, within those 7 phases, game ends. That's it, game over, and whoever is in control of that objective is the winner. If it goes beyond those 7 phases, or whatever, however many phases it is, then it comes down to double 6s. In the event, we went past the 7 phases, nobody rolled 3 6s, but after I think about the 2nd or 3rd phase into it, of the overtime basically, I rolled a double 6. I ended the game. However, by that time Dex had already close assaulted my section in the objective, and by the 2nd attack it actually knocked them out of it. Now, what this does, it's really gets you off your feet and makes you attack as the attacker. If the objective has gone to the defender, it makes people, forces them into fighting for that objective. It means that you are no longer in a position where you can just shoot your way out of it and reduce the enemy's force morale to 0, because if you do that, then you'll still lose the game if they're in control of the objective anyway. So what happened was, it basically spoke to Dex and Kev about it afterwards, and it basically made them get off their arse and start moving towards the objective. And I think it's a really good addition. It really makes you start just to think a little bit more about how to win the game, and what you can do to win the game. So that's a little snippet there from version 2 Chain of Command. Something to look forward to, I hope, and I'm looking forward to getting it back on the table again to try out some more of the other bits and pieces, some of the other scenario rules as well. Right, I mentioned it in passing. Partisan, by the time this video is going out to public, Partisan will probably already be over. I am taking the camera, I am going to be filming it, so I will be filming everything. I've already been in touch with a couple of people, set up some interviews over there, so I'm going to be doing some more of those as well. I'm going to say now hello to everybody who I saw at Partisan. I'll talk more about it in the next hobby update, because obviously I can't talk about it now because it hasn't happened yet. But I think it will. I'm looking forward to it. Always look forward to Partisan. It's always a great show, and hopefully I will see quite a few people there. And as I say, I'm going to be doing a show report that will be out as soon as I can edit it. So I'm hoping early week. This coming week, so keep an eye out for that. I'll just put it out and you'll see it at some point one evening. So I think I'll pretty much wrap up there. As always, check out the Warlord affiliate links as well down below in the description. Any money you spend on Warlord or anything you want to buy, like the epic stuff, please buy it through those affiliate links, because it does give me a little bit of a kickback, which helps the channel going, of course. And also, please do subscribe. It costs you nothing. I keep looking at these stats, and about 70% of people who watch these videos do not subscribe, so please do subscribe. It just helps the channel out, and it will help me get to 15,000 subscribers, which is what I'm hoping for at some point in the future. Right, I'll leave it at that, and I will say thank you very much again, and I'll see you in the next Storm of Steel video.